Get a woman's phone number on Instagram as a rich introvert. And gentlemen, stay tuned until the very end because I'm going to give you 3 tips that I only share with my clients. Stay tuned until the end. All right, strategy number 1 is one of my favorite strategies. It's called the note pass. You basically pass this girl a note. Now, this is really good if you're shy, but it's also really good if you're in a coffee shop or a library or somewhere where she's working and you can't necessarily go up to her and chat her up, but instead you just pass her the note because then it's more under the radar and she doesn't get embarrassed. So what you do is hopefully you've talked to her or you've made some sort of attraction with her. And with like a waitress, for example, right? What I would write on a note is, I don't know if you're just providing great customer service or if you're actually attracted to me, but if it's the latter, how would you feel about tossing me your phone number? Then what you do is on that piece of paper, you write a little box that says yes, and you write a little box that says no, and you have an arrow pointing to the no, and it says, don't pick this one. Girls find it super charming. They find it super attractive when guys do this. And if it's a waitress, for example, what I'll do is I'll give it to her and I'll be like, here's the note. Bring it to me at the end of my lunch or whatever, and let me know what you think. So you'll give it to her. She'll go in the back. She doesn't have to be embarrassed in front of her coworkers. She doesn't have to read it in front of everybody else. She'll take it in the back, say yes or no. Oftentimes, if it's no, she'll say she has a boyfriend, but then she'll put her digits on it and boom, you got yourself a phone number. All right, tip number 2 is you seem cool. And I really like this one because it's kind of like you qualifying her and you letting her know that she's made the cut as far as you feel she's made the cut. Because remember, guys, you're the selector. So what I like to say is, you know what? You seem pretty cool. Why don't you toss me your phone number and we'll catch up some other time. All right, tip number 3 is to simply hand her your phone. You guys are talking, you hand her your phone and she's like, well, what's this? You'd be like, put your phone number in it, dum-dum. Kind of like the assumptive close that I always talk about. And I really like to call girls dum-dum, dingbat, slapjack, you sea donkey in a joking way. Obviously, you're kind of like teasing her, you're busting her chops. But when you do that, when you just hand her your phone and you're completely assumptive about it, like, yeah, of course you're going to give me your phone number because we're getting along great, it usually goes over really well. All right, tip number 4 is another one of my favorites. What do you suggest we do to continue this conversation some other time? What do you suggest we do to continue this conversation some other time? Now, the reason we do this is because it puts the ball in her court and it makes her suggest, well, I could give you my phone number. And you'd be like, you know what? Sounds pretty good. Here, put your phone number on my phone. All right, strategy number 5 is another one of my favorites that you do when the girl's like walking away or she's in the parking lot, like pulling out her car. I've done this where she'll be pulling her car out and I'll walk up to the window and I'll knock on it. And I'll be like, hey, didn't mean to bother you, but I think you're really cute. I'd be kicking myself the rest of the day unless I approached you. So I'm going to do the only thing I can do because we're in a parking lot right now, and that's ask for your phone number. That way we could catch up somewhere outside the parking lot, and that usually gets a really good response. So say you're walking down the street and the girl's like late for a train, or she's getting into her car and she's in a rush, and you can tell she's in a rush and you don't want to inconvenience her. You could be like, hey, real quick, had to let you know, I thought you were really cute. I'd be kicking myself the rest of the day unless I came to approach you. I can see you're obviously in a hurry, so I'm going to do the only thing I can do, and that's ask for your phone number so we can catch up some other time. What do you think? Now, obviously, she has the right to say yes or no, but it works really well, especially when you show that confidence. All right, number 6 concerns Instagram. I like Instagram because sometimes you don't have a lot of time to really chop it up with her, and girls typically feel that their phone number is a little bit more of an ask than Instagram is. Instagram is more public. They don't feel so personal. So if you don't feel like you could get the number, just go for the Instagram. You could use all these different things on Instagram, but the tip that I really want to embed inside your head is this is, so when the attraction isn't really high, you just ask her, do you have Instagram? She says, yes, I do. And you say, cool, what's your username, your handle, whatever. And then you follow her and you say, here's mine, follow me. And you guys follow each other. Now, the one thing I like about Instagram, and this definitely warrants its own episode, it warrants its own video, is it's a really good way to show pre-selection. Pre-selection is showing girls that you already have women in your life. So as she's going through your Instagram, looking at everything, she can see you with other girls, not making out with them, not hooking up with them, but just having hot girls in your life, as well as doing cool things, right? Like you mountain biking, you surfing, you doing hobbies, you public speaking, for example. We want to communicate all those high value things so that when she looks in your Instagram, she sees that And then you can hit her up with some of the texting stuff that I suggest. But Instagram works really well as a lesser ask for girls who aren't highly attracted. All right, the next one is another easy way to get a phone number pretty consistently is you ask her if she likes to barbecue, or you ask her if she likes to go out at night, and you basically tell her about a pregame party or a barbecue that you've set up that she can come to. So one of the things I suggest to my clients is to do little parties, right? Like pregame parties, costume dinners, get-togethers at your house before everybody goes out to the bars. And a really easy way to get a girl's number is to simply tell her about that and say you and your friend should come. So you're not necessarily saying, I want to date you. You're saying, I want you to come to my party and you're invited. Why don't you toss me your number? You can bring some friends. We'll all roll out together. And what's really good about this, boys, is you can bring lots of different girls into this mix without necessarily telegraphing that you're super interested in them. To them, you just seem like a really social guy who wants to hang out with them. So that's what's telegraphed. And then they see all these other girls coming in and they're like, damn, this guy's highly attractive. What is it about him that's so attractive? And then you date them outside of that pregame party, barbecue, whatever it is that you set up. So remember, like, we don't always have to go for the goal right off the bat. It's just like seduction. Like, we're not going to have sex with her usually within the first couple hours of meeting her. It's a step-by-step process. And one of the steps we can take to getting a phone number is making the barrier of entry a lot lower, right? Like, it's just a barbecue. Why don't you toss me your number? You guys can come. You're not telegraphing interest. And as far as you're concerned, you don't even know this chick yet. So why are you going to try to yank her phone number if you really don't know her? You'll yank her phone number to get her to come to a barbecue. But as far as further commitment is concerned, you don't know her yet. So roll out to the barbecue and we'll see if you got what it takes. All right, boys, so those were the 7 tips to yank a girl's phone number fast. Now, I want to ask you, what needs to be in place before you can ask for a girl's phone number? Obviously, her being attracted to you, right? So we need those signs of attraction. What are signs of attraction? Playing with their hair, general deer in the headlights look, and you can tell because her pupils are really dilated, flushing of the face, her actually touching her face, because when they touch their face, it telegraphs that the pores in her face are dilating because her cheeks are flushed with blood. I find that really interesting that when we're nervous, when we're attracted, there's actually more blood that goes to our face. And that's actually the reason girls wear blush. Have you ever noticed that? They wear the red blush right up here on their cheekbones. And the reason they do it is because it makes them look more sexy, because that's what happens during attraction. And that's what happens during sex is your cheeks blush, they get red. So when you see that in a woman, she's probably attracted, as well as red lips. That's one of the things that happens when she's really, really into you. She'll also be playing with her hair, touching you, laughing at jokes that aren't funny, asking you personal questions. So you have to get 3 of those signs before you go for the phone number. Now, sometimes you get none of those signs, and it happens to me too. And if you just want to ask for it, know that you might get shut down. But one of the best ways to do that is to say, listen, I know you're busy. I can tell you're leaving right now. So I'm going to do the only thing I can do. And that's ask for your number so we can catch up some other time when you and I both are not so busy. Okay. But 3 of those signs of attraction we want to get. And then we ask for the phone number in those 7 general ways. Gentlemen, this is my first YouTube video that I've ever recorded. I usually do a podcast. And for those of you who don't know, I'm actually a podcast host. I have 355 episodes at the time of this video. And I'll tell you, it's really weird looking into a camera. It's just these like 2 big eyes looking at me. I got an iPhone 13. Usually I'm just on my podcast talking like this. So it's a little weird to like be looking at you, but I'm going to start doing YouTube videos. And guys, my podcast is in the top 0.5% of podcasts worldwide, has a cult-like following with over 1,000 collective reviews, which is really high for podcasts. It's got a 4.8 out of 5. I give really good information. So a few things you can do. First of all, if you want to help me out, please subscribe. Please like this video. That really helps other people find it. But also jump to my other channel. It's called the Unapologetic Man Podcast with MarkSing. And I have a ton of podcast episodes on there. That's where the really, really good content is. But if you just want to surf through some of these videos, I very much appreciate it. This is my first YouTube video, so they're obviously going to get a lot better. And I'm excited to see how that progression goes. Like the first video always sucks. And my mentor told me, he's like, look, the first like 20, 30 videos are going to be trash, but just keep doing it. You'll get used to it and then you'll find your flow and they'll get good. So my first video, man, hope you liked it. Did I have something in my nose that whole time? Like there's like a booger like on my forehead, dude. That would be pretty funny, but we'll see how it goes, man. I'll keep doing them. Hopefully you guys like it, and If you vibe, subscribe. I do appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.